Hey guys, Reese here, Reeces Shed, and this is a special episode. So this episode this week will be our 1 year anniversary of being on YouTube. So YouTube for me was something that I've always liked watching, and I always thought that maybe one day I'd like to get involved, but I just didn't really know how, and I didn't really know how to start. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what sort of direction to follow. And then one day I was watching some Scotty's Garage and Carnage from Street Machine, and I thought I like what he does. And he put out a challenge that he was going to build a 12-second drag car on a budget of $2,000. So I thought to myself, that's something that I can do. This is my chance to get involved. So first thing I did was I went and got this. Which was basically at the beginning we thought it was a HQ Holden ute. It turned out to be a WB ute with a HQ front end. Well, the bits that I got given with the car was HQ. So we're set on a journey to build this thing into the car it is today. A 12-second drag car, home built for less than $2,000. And that is for the entire build, not just the performance parts. That is everything that we've bought so far. So I think that we've done a pretty good job with what we've got. I'm happy with it so far. It's not finished, but we're this close. And I just think this is what got me started in YouTube, and it's the reason why I'm here. So I just thought I'd let you guys know that. There were other channels that I liked along the way that I really enjoyed watching, but I didn't know how to do that in my own way. So I did like, I do like Puddin's Fab Shop, and I like DD's Speed Shop. He's a Canadian guy, builds Tri-5 Chevys and muscle cars, and I like that sort of stuff. And I like Puddin because he builds mini trucks, and I'm not really a mini truck guy, but I like the fabrication that goes into them and the out-of-the-box thinking. So I didn't really know how to do that with this channel, so I just thought, when the 12 to 2K thing came up, I can build an engine. I'll build hundreds of engines. I can do rust repairs, and I wanted to be a bit different to everyone else, so I picked something that wasn't a running driving car. I picked a wreck out of a scrapyard that was going to get crushed and made into tin cans, and I've resurrected it as best I can. Given it another lease on life, and it isn't it's no show car, but it will be fast, and it's going to be fun, and it was cheap. And yeah, so now we've got to the 12-month mark. I just wanted to walk you through things that have happened along the way, things I've learnt, things I enjoyed, things I didn't, and give you a bit of an insight into the background of Reeces Shed. So the first thing that I really want to talk about are the things that I found difficult getting into YouTube and getting started. So first of all, I don't know if you guys can tell from watching the videos, but I'm not a tech guy. I don't know anything about computers. I don't know anything about technology. I'm an old school mechanic. I like carburetors. I like mechanical fuel pumps. I like all the old mechanical stuff. I don't like any technology really at all. But I do have to deal with that because we're in a modern world. But because of the fact that I'm not really into any of that sort of technology, I didn't know how to film. Like, I didn't know how to record. I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know where to go to find editing software. I didn't know how to set up camera angles. I didn't know lighting. I didn't know anything at all. And I had some pretty severe frustration in the beginning because my videos were terrible. The lighting was always bad. The audio was always bad. I started out filming on a $20 action camera, which came in a King Swag kit. It was terrible. And I found out pretty quick that that wasn't the way to go. So then I started using a really cheap Samsung phone, like an Android top phone. And that was better because I could use YouTube Creator editing software, and it was quite simple. Record something on the phone, get in there and edit whenever I had a free minute. But what I found with that is it wasn't very flexible. The editing was very basic, and as easy as it still wasn't good. So I had to make some sacrifices. And if anyone's watched the early videos, you would have seen that I had a Toyota Corona. So 1971 RT104, which I'd had for quite a few years. And I'd basically restored that car. So I cut every section of rust out of the car, and the thing was rusty. It was top to bottom, left to right, rust. It took me 2 years to cut all the rust out of it and restore it. And then I had installed a Holden 5-litre V8, which actually is over on the floor over there, because I kept that when I sold the car. So I put the Holden 5-litre in there, got it all running, and I went, great, this is going to be a really good drag challenge car. Because I really want to do drag challenge. It's been a lifetime goal of mine. Ever since I've been doing it, I've wanted to do it. But the timing never aligns. And we had a baby boy. So when he came, my whole mindset changed, my goals changed, and the last thing I wanted to do was be on the other side of the country racing a car when I could be at home with my family. So I did sacrifice that build. I actually made the car basically registration ready. So pulled the V8, I found a 2-litre engine, put that in, put a 4-speed transmission in there, got the whole thing running, driving. It was great, new carby, the whole works. And I sold it like that to a young bloke that absolutely loved it. And that made me feel okay, because I didn't really want to sell it, but I knew I had to make some sacrifices. And if I wanted to make a go of YouTube, I couldn't be filming on a cheap phone or a cheap action camera and have good quality videos. So I sold that car, I made good money on the car, and I bought a really good laptop, really expensive, really capable laptop, and I bought a GoPro Hero 13 Black, and basically that's when things started to change. I started to learn how to do better camera angles. I learned how to edit videos using editing software, and I started to enjoy what I was doing a lot more. So from that moment, once the enjoyment started coming back, it just took off from there. I couldn't wait to get out in the shed and make a video for you guys. I wanted to record things all the time. I wanted to work all the time. But I had to be realistic. So I set myself one night a week and some time on a weekend each week just to get out and get enough footage to make a video so I could post one video a week and not stretch myself too hard. The problem is, everything takes longer than you think. So you've got a lot less time than you think, and things take a lot longer than you think they're going to take. So that was another, I'd say hiccup. There's another hurdle in the road that I had to navigate. I feel like I've done that pretty well. I've got a good balance now. So 90% of my time is spent with my family, and then the rest of the time is spent out here. And I use that time to film, work, and edit. And I try to get out a video every week. So up to this point, I've done 61 videos in 12 months. That averages out to be about 5 videos a month. And that's about as much as I can do without upsetting the balance around here. So once I got that balance, the next thing was learning to be more comfortable on camera. And there's a few different ways that I did that. The very first way initially was to try and look somewhere else other than the camera, so it makes it look like I'm looking at you. But once I'd actually edited and posted those videos, I could look back and see that I wasn't actually engaged with you guys. I wasn't engaged with my audience. I was just talking to the wall behind me or in front of me. And so what I had to learn to do was, instead of speaking to a camera or speaking to a wall, I just thought to myself, I just want to speak to you. And that's what I started to do. And that's what made me more comfortable. That's what made me more confident. And I think that's what started to get me just more happy to be on camera. So I hope you guys can understand where I'm coming from with that, because as somebody that doesn't do technology and isn't a very outgoing person, it's a big deal, and it's quite a stretch for me. But I'm happy I did it because I've learned something new and I enjoy this. And I love coming out here every week, doing something, showing you guys, and having you guys comment and let me know what you think or how you feel. And it actually builds me up and it keeps me going. So what I did was I made a small list of things that I enjoy about other channels, and I wanted to emulate some of my idols, just because that's the kind of content that I like, and I wanted to share with you guys basically the things that I like to watch. So I didn't want to make videos about things that I'm not passionate about or I don't enjoy. So that's why I got into doing the 12s for 2K, because it's a bit of a challenge. What's the point of doing something if it's easy? This sort of thing really appealed to me because it wasn't a situation where you can just run down the road and buy all the parts you need and assemble a car and go fast. This was a project that it's kept me thinking all the way along on how can I get this done with what I have, or if I don't have it, how can I do it as cheap but as reliable and safe as I can. And that's what made it fun for me. We're coming to the end now, so the experience is almost over, but we do have other stuff to go on with. But yeah, stuff like this is what actually gets me going. So when I started doing this build, I was watching a lot of the Puddin's Fab Shop show, and the thing that struck me is that he was very authentic, spoke how he felt, was unapologetic to anybody that didn't agree, but in a nice way, the nicest way possible. Seems to be a great guy. And so I thought, I'm just gonna be myself, and there's gonna be people that like me, there's gonna be people that don't, and there's gonna be people that like the content and people that don't. And I thought, well, I'm just gonna do this for myself, hopefully people like it. So over the year, there have been people that didn't like it. There've been some pretty unfavorable comments at times, people that don't seem to understand what I'm doing here. It's either they've watched one video and they just don't understand why I wouldn't go and buy everything brand new, or it's people that say you're doing it wrong when they probably don't know any better themselves. But anyway, we're getting away from the point of this video. So the things that I learned from Puddin's Fab Shop and DD Speed Shop was their channels are consistent. So they're making, Puddin's Fab Shop was making one video at the time per week, and they were over an hour long, but they were excellent because you got to see the whole process. It wasn't smash cut into smash cut into smash cut of little tiny bits of work and then you just see the finished result. It was, this is how we're going to do this, and then go ahead and do it, and then look at it at the end and go, wow, that's cool. And that's what I like. I like, when I'm watching a YouTube video, I want to see the whole process. I don't want to have this thing look like this, and then 10 minutes later, it's a complete show car that's doing 12s. I want you to see the work, see the blood, see the sweat, see the tears that goes into something like this, so that people that don't know get a bit more of an insight into the work that goes into a job like this. So the consistency was what I took from that. I thought to myself, I'm going to do my best to put one video out a week, and I have missed time to time through circumstances that I couldn't change. So I'm not down about that. It's just from time to time things happen. But I have made 61 videos. So I've averaged 5 a month, which is one more than I expected. And for the most part, the comments have been excellent. The support has been excellent. I've made some new friends, which I didn't have before, which is that's been excellent. And along the way, I've just really enjoyed this situation that we're in, this build that we're in. And outside of this build, just the support has been great. So yeah. I guess what we should do now is talk about what I've learnt, I guess, what I would and wouldn't do again. And it's a hard one because anything that I wouldn't do again, I didn't know before. It's been a learning exercise. So hindsight is 20/20. I can easily say if I ever did this again, I wouldn't go down this path. But the problem is, if you've never been there, you don't know. So what I would say to you guys out there is, if you don't know, try anyway. You'll find out, you'll get there in the end, and you'll find out that, all right, that was the right thing to do because this was the result, or that didn't work, we have to go back and then try again. Yeah, so it's hard to say there were things that I wouldn't do again. Maybe I wouldn't have cut these floors out. Anyway, what I will say is it's work, guys. It's work, it's hard work. Everything takes longer than the amount of time that you have. But if you don't take yourself too seriously and you don't take your jobs too seriously, it's actually really, really fun. And I've grown to love doing these videos for you guys, and I don't see myself stopping anytime soon. I just hope that in the future that I can continue to improve and that people enjoy what I'm doing here. The channel's growing. It's growing really well. We're averaging about 100 extra subscribers a month. So we just clicked over 1,500 subscribers this week. So really, really good there. So it seems like people are enjoying what I'm doing and I'm enjoying it. So hopefully that's enough. But yeah, the experience so far has been a positive one. Tiny little negatives along the way, not worried about that. Just looking forward to the future and enjoying the positives and enjoying the process, and we'll just see where this takes us. It's definitely something that I want to keep pursuing going forward, and I want to be able to do more and more things. I want to challenge myself more and more with the builds and whatnot. So I am excited for the future. So what we'll talk about, I guess, now is where do we think this channel is going to go? So I'll dump this and I'll be right back. Okay, so that brings us to the 12 So that brings us to the 12 for 2K ute, and what we're going to do with this. So our drag racing strip is closed until some part in 26 or 27. There's no real firm answers just yet, which has been frustrating to say the least. We did get told in the 26-27 season the track will be open, but no one can tell you exactly when. So what we're going to do with this car is we're going to finish up getting it all back together, basically, and we're going to take it for a first drive, which is going to be really exciting. First time that this probably has been driven in, I'd say, at least 20 years, maybe more. And we're going to do a bit of road tuning, so I'll be driving it to and from work probably once or twice a week. We'll get a permit or something like that. Permit for repairs and temporary movement and whatnot. Once we've done our first drive in this thing, and we've done a few drives, I guess, we've got to get it over to the dyno. My mate Ryan's going to dyno it for us and get it all properly tuned up. And then, unfortunately, it's probably just going to sit until the track opens, because it's not a job that we're going to do body work and things like that on. What we have here is what we're going to be running. So patina, red oxide, you know, as it is how it's going to be. Unless I get bored and I want to come back and do some really nice stuff to it. But I think maybe we'll save that for later on, maybe down the track, months away or something like that. I want this just to be ready to go so that when the track opens we can race it. and then we'll go forward from there. So that's enough of the 12s for 2K ute, because like I say, it's nearly over. There's not so much left to talk about on it. From this point forward, it's just work and getting it out back on the street. So what we're going to be doing going forward, you guys have already seen the truck, Trevor. That will be my new work car. So that will be coming up on the channel. And that's going to be probably a quick turnaround job. We're not going to do a full restoration. I know I said that on this thing, and then we ended up fixing all of the rust and doing a lot more work than we ever decided to do in the first place. But I can guarantee you we won't be doing that on Trevor. We'll be getting that thing roadworthy and registered, and I'll be driving it to work, using it as a work truck, throwing things on the back, getting the dogs, going down the beach, all that sort of stuff. That's what that's going to be for. So that'll be a quick build on the channel. And then what I'd like to do is get started on the Tirana again. So bit of a hiccup with the Tirana. That was supposed to be something that I wanted to build on the second channel. Guys, if you haven't seen it, go check that out. The second channel didn't really... I didn't go ahead with the second channel. I did a little bit with it initially, but I found that there was just too much work to do to get it up to a level where it was worthwhile, and I just didn't have the time. So I came back to just doing the one video a week, getting this thing nailed, and then we're going to get this thing out of here and the Tirana will be coming in. So the Tirana is one of those jobs. I've got a couple of Tiranas out here that need resto, and I really love Tiranas. I'm a Tirana guy. So what I want to do is I want to get those in here, both of them probably, and get them all sealed up before winter comes again, because they're just going to sit out there and rust away otherwise. And I don't want that to happen. I want to get in before they get too bad. One of them has like 0 rust, the other one has some, but I want them to have 0 and I want to be sealed up in epoxy and all that stuff, and that's what I want to be doing next. So probably get the truck in at some point. We'll just float around with the truck. We're focusing on the Tiranas, and who knows what else we might do, but that's the direction I want to take the channel in. I did say earlier about Drag Challenge. Drag Challenge is something that, like I said, I've always wanted to do. I'd love to be able to get one of these cars there. I know that my missus would be keen for that, but we have to take one of the Tiranas. We can't get this ute licensed because we can't all fit in the ute. So I need a few seats. If we do Drag Challenge, it'll be one of them. So we'll wait and see how that goes. But yeah, guys, if you're interested in Tiranas or interested in Trevor the truck, let me know in the comments, because that's probably what's going to come up next. Unless something drastic changes, which I don't know. Who knows what the future holds. But yeah, this car here, this ute, this will be out of the shed 1 week, I think, is what we have left of working on it. Everything's done now. It's obviously, check out the it's got no guards on it and stuff, but it's a running, driving car with everything on it. Everything's done. I've got to put the guards back on, I've got to put the bonnet on, I've got to put the interior back in, and I've got to fit a thermofan. That's it. This is done then. So don't expect to be seeing this too much more in the future. We're just going to be, well, we'll finish it off, we'll drive it, all that sort of thing. Then we'll be getting stuck into old Holdens and an old Dodge. I do have other cars out there, but not really sure how I'm going to go with getting into those right now. I think we'll just be focusing on Tiranas. Alright, anyway, the video is starting to get a bit more serious than I had anticipated. This is supposed to be a celebration, and it is. 1 year on YouTube. It's been a great year. I've loved every minute of it. 61 episodes, 1 year on YouTube, 1,500 subscribers, and it's just been great. And we built an awesome car. Doesn't look like much right now because it's all pulled apart, but once it goes back together, awesome car. I'm motivated to go forward. I've got a few things that I haven't told you about that I really want to get stuck into. So all I really want from you guys going forward is just keep watching the videos, like them if you like them, drop me some comments. If you've got suggestions on stuff you'd like to see or stuff you'd like me to do, let me know, chuck them down below. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'd love to have you as subscribers. It just really helps, keeps me motivated. I want to do good stuff in the shed. I want to do it for you guys. I want to do it for me as well, but knowing you guys out there are watching and appreciate what I'm doing just makes it that much easier. So, like I say, comment, like, subscribe, tell your mates, and remember guys, these projects don't finish themselves. Get in the shed.